Alright, folks. I'm still coming off of the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, trying to process the information, digest just so much of what was provided to us in there. And I'll probably give a more direct, specific breakdown and a better thought out reaction to it. But I'm still trying to figure out like my own thoughts versus what I'm just seeing online, being like, oh, that is what I think. Trying to be a bit more of an individual on this. But in the meantime, I thought it'd be fun to go through the updated Switch 2 website, official website. I think it's largely going to be a lot of the same info we already saw, but maybe a bit more like organized and fleshed out, which for someone like me is much appreciated. So yeah, we're going to take a look, see how all this is presented to us, see if we can glean anything new. I'm gonna check one thing real quick. Music's still looking good. Yeah, still looking good. Okay. So yeah, so going off the main page, we're immediately it's reconfirmed that this thing is releasing on June 5th, which is 9 weeks out. Insane. You go to the How to Buy tab. If you haven't been here already, I would recommend doing it just in case. I think this is going to sell out pretty quickly. If you have a Nintendo Switch online account, there are certain requirements you have to meet, but you'll get notified and you'll be able to purchase it. They're letting you purchase it in waves. You have to pick which one. I opted for the Nintendo Switch 2 Mario Kart World bundle because that, even though I'm a physical media guy, it takes $40 off the price of that game. If you didn't know, Mario Kart World is it's $80. So just take that into consideration when and if you are pre-ordering your game or your Nintendo Switch 2 console. It's going to be pricey. You just have to accept it. But going back, we're going to keep scrolling down. Same trailer that's been out there forever. I think they updated the oh no, this is new. Look at all those Switch 2s flopping around. And then it reiterates the power of this system. I'm going to be honest, when they said 4K resolution and HDR and 120 FPS, when they said increased pixels, I kind of freaked out on the inside because that is such a non-Nintendo way to share what they're trying to communicate in a game. They never speak spec. They're never like, oh yeah, we're going to hit 60 frames per second. They did here. It was a big point. Really blew my mind. Talking about the magnetic connectors. We get a non-compressed trailer of Mario Kart World, which looks so much better than it does on YouTube. Even if you just come to this site just to see how the game footage actually looks, I think it's worth a glance. They talk about GameChat, which we'll get into. It has its own page. Very mixed feelings on this. I don't think it's going to look like that. I think it's going to look significantly worse, but we'll see. They point out the camera, which, how silly. Like, I think one thing that I'm looking at this though, like they're playing Mario Kart World. They've got 4 people at the bottom they're chatting with. They're also sharing their screen. The camera's plugged in the system. This thing's not charging. Like, isn't this just like 15 minutes of game time with your buds if you use it this way? Doesn't it seem like it's going to take a lot of power to do all of these things simultaneously? We'll see. I do like the camera, though. I think the camera's fun. And then we get some, like I said, more non-compressed footage. Donkey Kong looks so good. Not only does it look fun, I mean, look at that. Look at him go. It's so clean. I've been living such a Switch life, and Switch has that like mushy look to it. This is nuts. This is absolute. I almost can't believe it. I can't believe how good this looks. Oh, you can dock it. Whatever. We'll learn more out. We'll learn more for sure. They reiterate that the stand works compared to your Switch stand, which was a single toothpick connected with a piece of Scotch tape. Pointing out that top USB-C port so you can charge it while on tabletop. I mean, it seems like a normal quality of life improvement for sure. Joy-Con 2 controllers connecting to Snap. can I say I heard some people being like, I wonder if it's going to be a clap. And the idea that the Nintendo presidents would like get on their Switch Directs and clap their hands when they transitioned to another scene never sat right with me. It's just a loud snap. It looks so nice. My Switch is at the point where the rails are starting to kind of wear down. I use a what is this, a Nitro deck for my Switch, so I very rarely use it in handheld with traditional Joy-Cons. But part of that is the reason because my Joy-Cons frequently like it treats them as if they're detached. So I'm hoping that this Switch 2 not going to have that problem. Mouse mode. This might have been for a feature that everyone knew was happening and we're so curious about. This was some of the most underwhelming, in my opinion, and not in a way that it's not useful. I think like the way that Metroid Prime 4 showed off mouse mode, a lot of sense. That first person gyro mouse aiming, super cool. But I think it's still so safe, I almost couldn't believe it. You know, like this isn't some crazy gimmick. This is just like, yeah, it's a mouse. Enjoy. So that kind of threw me that there wasn't more gimmicky stuff attached. And there is a whole gimmick game around it, which again I'll talk about in the other video, but thoughts. C button has entered the chat. The infamous C button. Did it mean cast? Did it mean campus? No, it's just chat. It's just voice chat. They are selling this as if it is a brand new idea and has not been around since the Xbox 360, but here it is. You can even video chat with your friends. There's going to be a trailer tomorrow. I probably won't post a video on it, but I would recommend anyone who is interested in this feature to take a look. I think it's going to provide a much more, hopefully a clear and cohesive statement over what this actually is and how it's utilized. But we'll find out. They're letting us know that for a full, essentially a year, a little bit less than a year, you won't have to use a NSO membership to have access to chat, but after that point you will. And, you know, that's at the end of their fiscal year. Fiscal year ends in March. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's they're going to see, they want to see an uptick in NSO subscriptions, so. And then they reiterate you have TV, tabletop, handheld, and then they talk about performance. They talk about this is just crazy to me that these are the selling points of the Switch 2, and I love it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is it is so non-Nintendo to be like, look how powerful our hardware is. They used to not. There was a period of time when they didn't communicate this, and I guess they felt like they needed to, which honestly they did. But I can't believe they did it. So they talk about how much more powerful the Switch 2 is. We saw it in the Direct. It is. The 3D sound is kind of blowing my mind as well. Like, this just feels like such a high quality system. You know, I think we were spoiled, or like maybe conditioned into thinking game systems are cheaper if you're primarily a Switch user. Like, my wife bought a Switch for $139. And but you get what you pay for, you know? And I think in this case, a console being $450, you are getting what you pay for. And there's these like subtle but really powerful enhancements that we have to take into account. And it's got more storage. It's got more than 32 gigs. It's got 256. 8 times the capacity. It's also going to be faster. I think load times might be a thing of the past for Nintendo games. I really want to get on my island in Animal Crossing on my Switch 2 and see how quickly I enter my houses, which is dumb, but if you played it, you know those load times are egregious. And then you need a micro SD express card. Let me say this, I get it. It needs to match the system. And a micro SD express card is going to have the same load speed as the Switch 2. I just wish I could take my current SD card and still put it in there, because I'm going to have to transfer everything over. It won't be a big deal. That's just a small preference on my part. And then they talk about being backwards compatible, which is great. And then we get into more specifics. But let's scroll back up to the top and kind of just go through each menu option features. Did it do it? Oh, I guess these are. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. I see what's going on. We actually have to use the menu at the bottom. I'm not editing this out. We're doing this in real time. So how to buy, right? If I were you, I mean, you do what you want. I am a big physical game connoisseur. I think buying physical is important, and I think it's good. I think it's preferable. Mario Kart World is $80. If you get the bundle, it basically cuts that price down by half. I think that's worth it to not have the physical. But what they're doing right now is you can register for when these become available to buy. I believe notification, yeah, in May 8th. I'm probably still going to get mine from a traditional retailer. I would love to be able to just like know I'm getting it either like a midnight release or the day of, rather than hope that the mailman gets here on time, right? But they give you an option if you have an NSO membership. I think you also have to be like active and have a certain amount of game time or whatever. These things are going to sell fast, so I think that's smart. The accessories. Starts with the Pro Controller. Pro Controller, they're big proud on. I'm not going to read the developer like blurbs on the main website, but they talk about how like making the perfect controller is important to them, which I never knew, and I think that's really funny. But this kind of rules. It's got HD Rumble 2. It's got the mappable buttons on the back. I think they made a big deal about the grip being seamless. But I also think that your existing Pro Controller can work with your Switch too, so this might be something you want to hold off on. Left and right Joy-Cons. The Joy-Con charging grip. I wish I had mine up here. It looks more comfortable, in my opinion, probably because of the size. I think, using... Oh, here it is. You have your Switch 1 Joy-Con grip. I use it all the time, but I get that this isn't preferable. I think this one is going to kind of like be a solid option for using a controller. Also, I have the prices out here. It's fine. You got your Joy-Con 2 straps, the steering wheel. I love that this thing has been around since the Wii, and they're like, you got to get your wheel for your Mario Kart. The camera, I am so curious to see if this thing actually works, because in the Mario Party Jamboree, they show like 4 people in a room, and the camera is able to like differentiate who's who and like keep track of like your head while you're using the camera features in the game. This thing's only $50. Like, of all the accessories for the Switch 2, this one seems the most fairly priced, in my opinion. Like, really consumer friendly. I think part of it is they really want people to have the camera. I really think they want people to use this, but they're not packaging it with the Switch 2. Dock kit, $109. God. Carrying case, and then a big box. And then they talk about the extra micro express SD that's sold through stores. They don't sell them themselves, so whatever. Do we go down? Yes. And now to the games, folks. It's broken down into 3 categories: new, upgrade, and Nintendo Switch Online. Of course, new, Mario Kart World. I'm still trying to figure out, is this a big enough jump from Mario Kart 8 for me to be excited about it? I think on looks and power alone, that answer is yes. Like, the idea that there won't be loading times between races, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that Mario Kart is a big game. Not like that there's a lot to do, but it takes up a lot of space in world, right? And this is the launch game, which we all knew. We all knew it was going to be the launch game. My dryer just went off and I got scared. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Seen some people spell this with an O. It's in fact with an A because it's a banana joke. July 17th. This is the second game to come out. Looks so good. This game, it's like if you took Mario Odyssey and you said, yeah, but what else? environmental. This is what I want out of a Donkey Kong, by the way. I've spoken about this at the Country series. It's crazy that Donkey Kong is so fragile. It takes one or two hits to like take him out. This is the Donkey Kong I want. This guy's unhinged. He's indestructible. He's wrecking the environment. Chef's kiss. And then you have the upgrades, right? Is that right? No, these are still referring to them as new games. So Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, this is a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, not an upgrade to a Switch 1 game. Still no release date yet. Just crazy to me. Kirby Air Riders. How are we getting 2 racing games in 1 year from Nintendo? Why didn't this come out next year? I will play it. I'm the Nintendo guy. I'm going to buy it day one. I'm going to play it. I don't understand why it is right now. And they also didn't show anything. We got one cinematic trailer that was nothing. And cool. There's just more to know. It's too soon to tell what's going on with this game. Dragon Drive. I hope this game is good, because I think the premise of taking like a sport that resembles that of a real life sport that features people with disabilities rules. Like that premise alone, that puts a focus on accessibility, I think is really good. I just want it to be fun as well. Like, you got the messaging there. Make it fun. Make it good. You know? No dates, right? No dates. Welcome Tour. This is a worse Astrobot, and I'll be picking up day one. And then Duskbloods. I know folks are super excited about an exclusive FromSoft game. I thought this game looked very boring, but I'm hoping that is just because, like, maybe I was just overwhelmed at the time of there was a barrage of third-party stuff coming in. And that's next year, though. Maybe it'll look cleaner. It looked like it was an early build as well. We'll have to see. And then there's more. There's more third-party stuff. Hades, Split Fiction, Street Fighter, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII, Bravely Default. I think this one might be flying under the radar. And this one I'm really excited about, because I think this was a 3DS game originally. Hogwarts Legacy, Never in a Million Years, Elden Ring. Crazy that Elden Ring. I knew it was going to be like the Skyrim game, which I honestly don't think it is the Skyrim game. I think I might put Duskbloods. I'm sorry, Duskbloods in there. But just, it's nuts that it's on there. Project 007. Time it came and went. Wow. A new James Bond game. Star Wars Outlaws, Hitman, Deltarune, Survival Kids. Is there more? Okay, we're done. We're done. They talk about upgrade packs, which we will go back to, but I did want to touch on NSO. I predicted that it would be DS games, because I figured they would want to really highlight mouse mode with NSO. And it's GameCube, which is cool. I just worry it's going to be like extremely drip fed. The way that I read it is that we are going to get 3 games at launch. They don't even talk about them. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Nintendo Switch Online will be able to play Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur, with more games coming in the future. These are big. They take a while to beat. They don't need to all come out at once. But dang, I hate the drip feed system, and they're going to continue along with it. They talk about Game Chat, Game Share, virtual game cards, and then game key cards. Before we go back up to upgrade packs, I did want to touch on game key cards. And I from what I understand, and this looks bad, right? This is essentially saying it's a physical digital game where you buy the box. But what you're doing is you're putting in basically a you're putting in one of these. You're putting in your little Nintendo Switch chip. It's going to read it as a key, and it's going to download the game. Instead of a code, it's a physical product. But what I think this is going to be is it's going to be third party. It's going to be for third parties where games are just, they're too big. They don't know how to compress them like Nintendo does. Is it gross? Yes. Is it going to be everything? Almost certainly not. I think your Mario Kart and your Donkey Kong will be safe. And then the upgrade packs. This is crazy to me. So you are able to upgrade your existing Switch software into a Switch 2 game, right? So Mario Party Jamboree, they got the Jamboree TV, which incorporates the camera. They have obviously upgraded visuals, game share compatibility and local multiplayer, which is cool. You get and that's paid for, by the way. You have to pay for this one. Now these are free. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, right out the gate, they're going to get upgraded versions. If you saw this in the direct, the trailers, it looks so smooth. Like the fact that the movement just looks so clean. And they showed off Korok Forest for obvious reasons, because in the base Switch game it runs really bad. None of that. It's incredible. HDR support. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands is getting a whole new story. Pokemon Legends ZA. They just say performance and high frame rate. I'm wondering if there's more to it. And then Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is also getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, where it really incorporates the mouse mode. It's going to run at 120 frames per second in handheld. Again, they're just really laying on how much stronger the Switch 2 is than the Switch 1, and I'm here for it. They'll come as a digital version or a physical version. Yeah, man. Now, is that it as far as the website goes? Technical specs, we can look at this. Talks about the pixels, 920 by 1080. I'm not going to go into all that. I just think, I think I'm going to include the link in this video. This is worth checking out if you, like me, took in the direct. It was an hour of information. You were immediately overwhelmed. This does such a good job of kind of explaining what the Switch 2 is, what its features are. And you can take it in at your own pace. It's easily digestible. It has all the information you might need. It talks about the virtual game card system, talks about GameChat, Game Share, transferring from Nintendo Switch, because you can't move your SD card over. You have to transfer all that stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to, this was honestly a good exercise for me. Like, this was a great recap, what we saw. So I just thought I'd share my experience of scrolling a website. Yeah, and probably in the coming days, I'll be making a more direct, focused breakdown of my thoughts. But if you check this video out, thank you so much. Let me know what you think of the Nintendo Switch 2. Are you getting it day one? Are you ready to spend $1,000? I am. It's going to be great. It's going to be scary. It's going to be great. We're going to have fun. Thank you for watching.